Chosen One, what you just accomplished has left everyone absolutely speechless. You didn't just shift something, you shifted everything, and the divine is so overwhelmed with pride that the entire cosmos is throwing you a celebration that's shaking reality itself. God Almighty started applauding so thunderously that dimensions are vibrating with pure ecstatic joy at what you've become. What just happened to you wasn't random healing or a coincidental breakthrough. This was the completion of a mission that's been generations in the making. And you magnificent, powerful force of nature, you're the one who finally cracked the code that your entire ancestral line has been trying to solve. The headaches you've been experiencing aren't side effects. They're the physical sensation of ancient poison being extracted from your consciousness at the cellular level. Every ancestor who carried this burden before you is standing in ovation right now because you accomplished what they couldn't. Not because they were weak, not because they didn't try, but because you were specifically designed with the spiritual technology required for this level of transformation. You've just become the ancestor that future generations will thank, and the weight of that responsibility is about to transform into the fuel for unprecedented power. The burden you've been carrying since childhood wasn't yours to begin with. It was a generational inheritance, passed down like a cursed heirloom through bloodlines that never learned how to break free from survival consciousness. Your mother carried it, her mother carried it, and the mothers before them carried it, each generation adding their own layer of protective strategies that eventually became prison walls. But something about your spiritual DNA was different. Something about your consciousness was built to not just carry this weight, but to transform it into something else entirely. That bright, innovative child you used to be, the one whose sparkle was systematically dimmed by adults who couldn't handle your light. That wasn't destruction, Chosen One. That was preparation. Every time your natural enthusiasm was squelched, every time your creativity was criticized, every time your joy was treated like a problem to be solved, you were being forged in fires that would eventually make you unbreakable. What felt like punishment was actually the universe building your capacity to hold levels of power that would incinerate ordinary consciousness. The people who dimmed your light weren't villains in your story. They were unconscious instruments in your development. They were operating from their own unhealed wounds, their own inherited limitations, their own survival programming, but their inability to hold space for your magnificence was precisely what taught you to generate your own light from within. Every time they pressed your flame down into embers, you learned to burn from a deeper source, until eventually you discovered the eternal fire that no external circumstance could ever extinguish. Your relationship with money and abundance has been the secret key to everything all along. The financial struggles, the feast or famine cycles, the way prosperity seemed to slip through your fingers like water, none of that was about worthiness or capability. That was your nervous system protecting you from the very success that would make you visible, powerful, and potentially dangerous to those who benefited from your dimmed radiance. Deep in your subconscious, abundance became associated with exposure, and exposure became associated with punishment, because every time you shined brightly as a child, you were made to pay for it. Your financial patterns weren't self-sabotage, they were sophisticated survival strategies designed to keep you safely small and manageable. But Chosen One, you just reprogrammed the entire system. You've healed the core wound that was generating these protective limitations, and now the universe is about to flood you with the abundance it's been holding in escrow until you are ready to receive it without being destroyed by it. The justice that's coming isn't the kind most people imagine. This isn't about dramatic confrontations or public vindication. This is about cosmic rebalancing on a scale that will reshape reality itself around you. The people who suppressed your light are about to discover that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transformed, and all the radiance they tried to diminish is about to return to you amplified beyond their ability to comprehend or contain. money is going to start flowing toward you in ways that will require you to completely restructure your understanding of prosperity. Not just enough money to be comfortable, not just financial security, but wealth that comes with cosmic responsibility. The universe doesn't hand this level of abundance to people who aren't ready to wield it with wisdom and integrity. Every dollar that flows to you from this point forward is coming because you've proven you can handle power without being corrupted by it. The educational opportunities that are about to present themselves aren't suggestions from the universe, they're assignments. Your breakthrough created space for even greater transformation, but transformation at this level requires skills you don't currently possess. The intuitive gifts that carried you through your healing are incredible, but they need to be balanced with practical mastery if you're going to build something lasting with the opportunities heading your way. Your resistance to formal learning isn't laziness, it's the last vestige of old programming, trying to keep you safely hidden from the visibility that excellence demands. The real work begins after the breakthrough, not before it. Breaking free from limitation is just the opening act. Learning to exist comfortably and effectively in unlimited space is an entirely different challenge, one that requires expertise that can only be developed through deliberate practice and strategic learning. The universe is about to give you million-dollar problems, but it's also going to ensure you have access to million-dollar solutions. The people who are threatened by your transformation are about to become increasingly obvious and increasingly irrelevant. Some will try to undermine your success through subtle sabotage. Others will attempt to take credit for your achievements or minimize their significance. A few will try to convince you that your breakthrough isn't real, that you're deluding yourself, that you should return to the small, safe version they found comfortable. Their reactions aren't personal, they're automatic responses from consciousness that can't match the frequency you're now operating from. Your transformation isn't just personal healing. You've become a living portal for others who have been trapped in similar patterns. Every person who witnesses your success and thinks, if they can do it, maybe I can too, becomes part of the legacy you're creating. Your breakthrough becomes their permission slip. Your abundance becomes their proof that limitation is optional. Your radiance becomes their reminder of their own suppressed light. The unfinished business coming to light isn't just personal history that needs resolution. It's generational work that needs completion, ancestral patterns that need transformation, family wounds that need healing, not just for those who created them, but for those who will inherit them. You've become the spiritual surgeon your lineage has been waiting for, and the operations you're performing are healing injuries that have been festering for centuries. Everything that nearly broke you was actually making you unbreakable. Every dark night that seemed endless was building your capacity to hold unlimited light. Every challenge that felt insurmountable was proving that you could surmount anything. The pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation for levels of power that require extraordinary strength to wield responsibly. The version of you that existed before this breakthrough was never the real you anyway. It was a compressed version, operating under artificial constraints, limited by inherited fears, restricted by adopted limitations. What you're experiencing now isn't becoming someone new. It's finally becoming who you were always meant to be before the world convinced you to shrink. Your ancestors who struggled with these same patterns are celebrating not because their suffering finally has meaning, but because their descendants found the key to freedom they spent lifetimes searching for. Their struggles weren't in vain if they led to your breakthrough. Their limitations aren't permanent if you've learned to transcend them. Their wounds weren't worthless if you've transformed them into wisdom. The abundance flowing toward you isn't charity from a benevolent universe. It's the natural result of finally aligning with your true value. When you stop accepting less than your worth, the universe stops offering it. When you stop settling for limitation, limitation stops being able to hold you. When you stop believing you have to earn your worthiness, worthiness stops being questionable. but the education you're being guided toward isn't about fixing what's wrong with you. It's about developing what's right with you to levels that can handle the responsibilities heading your way. Growth happens in stages, and each stage requires different tools, different knowledge, different support systems. The gifts that got you through healing are incredible, but they need practical wisdom if you're going to build something that outlasts you. The tower moments approaching aren't going to break you. They're going to break you open to even greater levels of power. Every structure that crumbles will reveal itself as limitation disguised as security. Every relationship that falls away will create space for connections that actually support your highest expression. Every circumstance that seems to threaten your progress will ultimately accelerate your ascension. The silence being broken isn't just your own. Your transformation is giving permission to countless others who have been waiting for proof that escape is possible. Your success becomes their evidence that healing is real, that change is possible, that patterns seeming permanent are actually illusions waiting to be dissolved by someone with enough courage to challenge them. This is what being chosen really means. You weren't selected because life would be easier, but because you possess the rare combination of strength and compassion required to transform not just yourself but everyone whose life you touch. Your healing becomes their hope. Your breakthrough becomes their possibility. Your success becomes their permission to dream bigger than circumstances suggest they should. The circle is completing itself at a higher octave than where it began. The child whose light was dimmed is becoming the adult whose radiance illuminates multitudes. The person taught to settle for limitation is becoming the teacher showing others how to transcend it. The one wounded by protectors is becoming the healer who protects the wounded. Your spiritual team is ecstatic about what you've accomplished, but they're even more excited about what you're becoming. They can see the version of you existing just beyond your current self-concept, the leader you're growing into, the healer you're becoming, the creator you're learning to embody. From their perspective, your recent breakthrough wasn't the climax of your story, it was the moment your real story finally began. The legacy you're building will ripple forward through time, affecting people you'll never meet, inspiring transformations in circumstances you'll never know about, healing wounds in family lines extending far beyond your own bloodline. This is your moment, chosen one. Not tomorrow when you feel more ready, not next year when circumstances are more favorable, but right now while the universe is celebrating your breakthrough, while your ancestors are cheering your success, while transformation energy flows through your life like electricity through a conductor. The chains have been broken, the patterns healed, the abundance flowing. What began with suppression and limitation is ending with expression and infinite possibility. Every chapter between will be written by choices you make from this moment forward. The celebration in invisible realms isn't just about what you've overcome, it's about what you're becoming. And what you're becoming, chosen one, is going to change everything, starting with that person staring back at you in the mirror, the one whose eyes now burn with the fire of someone who has remembered exactly who they are and why they came here. The universe held its breath, waiting for this moment, and now it can finally exhale in pure joy because its chosen one has chosen themselves. The story that began with dimmed light ends with radiance that illuminates worlds. The burden that nearly crushed you has become the foundation of unshakable strength. The wounds that almost destroyed you have become the source of healing power that transforms everything you touch. The speed of this transformation is breaking every known law of spiritual physics. What typically takes lifetimes to accomplish, you've compressed into what feels like moments. The universe is literally rewriting its own algorithms to accommodate the velocity of your ascension. Even your spiritual team is stunned by how rapidly you've integrated these massive shifts without losing your sanity or your grounding. God isn't just proud of you, chosen one. The divine is in complete awe of your execution. You didn't just heal generational trauma, you obliterated it so thoroughly that the energetic signature of those patterns can no longer exist anywhere in your reality. You didn't just break free from limitation, you transformed the very concept of limitation into a launching pad for exponential expansion. You didn't just find your power, you became power itself expressing through human form. The reverberations of your breakthrough are creating ripple effects in dimensions that most consciousness can't even access. Other chosen ones scattered across the planet are suddenly experiencing spontaneous healings, unexpected opportunities, and mysterious shifts in their own circumstances because your transformation has strengthened the entire grid of awakened consciousness. You've literally upgraded the spiritual infrastructure that supports everyone who's walking this path. What's happening to your nervous system right now is unprecedented in recorded history. Instead of being overwhelmed by the magnitude of your transformation, you're experiencing an unusual calm, an otherworldly stillness that comes from finally aligning with your true nature. Your body is adapting to contain frequencies that would short-circuit ordinary human circuitry. Every cell is being upgraded to handle the levels of energy and information that are about to flow through you. The business opportunities that are magnetizing toward you aren't random market fluctuations or coincidental timing. These are divinely orchestrated scenarios, specifically designed to match your unique combination of healed consciousness and practical capability. The universe has been preparing these opportunities for years, holding them in reserve until you develop the spiritual maturity to handle success without being corrupted by it. Your relationship with authority figures is about to undergo a complete inversion. Where you once felt intimidated or diminished by those in positions of power, you're about to discover that authentic power recognizes authentic power. Leaders who once seemed unreachable are going to seek you out. Influencers who once seemed untouchable are going to want to collaborate with you. Decision-makers who once seemed impossible to access are going to open doors you didn't even know existed. The educational path being laid out before you isn't traditional learning in any conventional sense. This is rapid-fire downloads of information that bypasses normal cognitive processing and goes straight into your cellular memory. You're about to absorb complex concepts at speeds that would be impossible for unawakened consciousness. Your learning capacity has been exponentially enhanced by your breakthrough, allowing you to master in months what takes others years to comprehend. Your capacity for holding paradoxes has become superhuman. You can simultaneously embrace complete surrender while maintaining absolute control. You can experience total peace while generating unstoppable momentum. You can embody perfect stillness while creating revolutionary change. This level of integrated consciousness is what separates chosen ones from everyone else who's trying to wake up. The money flowing toward you is carrying more than just purchasing power. It's encoded with transformational energy that will continue your evolution with every transaction. Each dollar you receive is infused with the intentions of every soul who contributed to its creation, and those intentions are aligned with your highest good, because your vibration now only attracts energies that serve your divine mission. Your former self would have been terrified by the level of visibility that's coming, but your current consciousness is excited by it. You've developed what I can only describe as spiritual fearlessness, not the reckless abandonment of healthy boundaries, but the unshakable knowing that you're being guided and protected by forces far more powerful than anything that could threaten you. The tower moments I mentioned earlier aren't just personal restructuring, they're cosmic events that will reshape the entire landscape of possibility around you. Structures that have seemed permanent for decades are going to crumble overnight to make room for something so much greater that the old forms couldn't contain it. Industries are going to shift, relationships are going to realign, and entire social systems are going to reorganize themselves around the new frequency you're broadcasting. Your energy signature has become so powerful that it's affecting people before they even meet you. Strangers are going to feel compelled to help you for reasons they can't explain. Opportunities are going to present themselves through synchronicities, so obvious that even skeptics will be forced to acknowledge that something supernatural is happening around you. The silence that's been broken extends far beyond your personal patterns. You've shattered ancestral agreements that have been binding your entire lineage to limitation for countless generations. Cousins you've never met are going to start experiencing unexpected breakthroughs. Family members who've been stuck in the same patterns for decades are going to suddenly find the motivation to change their lives. Children not yet born into your family line are going to inherit spiritual gifts that were locked away until you found the key to release them. God's pride in your accomplishment is so intense that it's manifesting as physical phenomena in your environment. Electronics around you might behave strangely as they struggle to process the elevated frequencies you're emanating. Animals are drawn to you with unusual trust and affection because they can sense the harmlessness that comes from complete inner alignment. Even plants in your presence grow more vibrantly because the life force flowing through you enhances everything it touches. The justice I spoke of earlier is already beginning to manifest in ways so subtle and precise that only you will recognize the divine fingerprints on each event. People who once dismissed or undermined you are going to find themselves inexplicably compelled to apologize for behavior they didn't even realize was harmful. Situations that once seemed permanently stacked against you are going to resolve themselves through mysterious interventions that clear your path completely. The creative projects that are about to emerge from your consciousness will contain frequencies that heal people just by experiencing them. Whether you express through art, writing, speaking, or any other medium, your creations are going to carry transformational codes that activate dormant potentials in everyone who encounters them. You're not just becoming successful, you're becoming a catalyst for mass awakening. Your relationship with time itself has been fundamentally altered. Hours pass like minutes when you're in flow, but you can also stretch moments into eternities when you need to process complex situations. This temporal flexibility is one of the advanced abilities that emerges when consciousness reaches the level you've achieved. You're learning to work with time as a malleable resource rather than a fixed constraint. The partnerships forming around you aren't just business collaborations, they're soul contracts coming to fruition. People you've been energetically connected to for lifetimes are finally incarnating in forms that allow you to work together toward shared missions. These aren't random networking opportunities. These are predetermined alliances designed to amplify your individual impacts exponentially. Your intuitive abilities are evolving beyond simple gut feelings into what can only be described as prophetic awareness. You're beginning to sense outcomes before the actions that create them have even been taken. This isn't fortune-telling, this is consciousness operating at frequencies where the illusion of linear time becomes transparent, allowing you to navigate reality with supernatural precision. The abundance protocols being activated in your reality are so sophisticated that they're designed to fulfill needs you haven't even recognized yet. Money will arrive exactly when required, in precisely the amounts needed, through channels that appear just when you need them. This isn't manifestation in any traditional sense. This is divine logistics operating through your aligned consciousness. The enthusiasm that was suppressed in childhood is returning amplified by wisdom, creating an emotional range that encompasses both profound depth and explosive celebration. You're becoming capable of experiencing multiple emotional frequencies simultaneously, giving you access to the full spectrum of human possibility. The impact of your transformation extends beyond Earth's atmosphere into galactic consciousness networks that most humans don't even know exist. Your breakthrough has been registered by advanced civilizations who've been monitoring Earth's awakening process, and your success has accelerated timelines for planetary transformation that were previously considered optimistic projections. Your physical body is being upgraded to handle energy frequencies that were previously accessible only to ascended masters. Every system, nervous, circulatory, endocrine, cellular, is being optimized to support consciousness operating at levels that redefine what's possible for embodied beings. You're becoming a prototype for the next stage of human evolution. The legacy being created through your transformation isn't just inspirational, it's instructional. Every choice you make from this point forward is being encoded into the morphic field as a template that others can access when they're ready for similar breakthroughs. You're not just healing yourself, you're creating pathways that make healing accessible to consciousness that follows. God is so proud of how you've handled this level of rapid transformation without losing your humanity. Lesser consciousness would have been consumed by ego or overwhelmed by the magnitude of these changes, but you've maintained perfect balance between power and humility, confidence and compassion, strength and softness. This integration is what makes you qualified for the responsibilities that are about to be placed in your hands. Your voice is being calibrated to carry frequencies that activate dormant DNA in everyone who hears you speak. Whether you're giving presentations, having casual conversations, or even leaving voicemails, the vibrational codes embedded in your words are triggering evolutionary leaps in consciousness throughout your sphere of influence. You've become a walking activation device for human potential. Your relationship with money is about to transcend every limitation that humanity has collectively agreed to accept about financial flow. You're discovering that abundance isn't about accumulating resources, it's about becoming a conduit through which infinite prosperity flows to accomplish divine purposes. The money coming to you isn't yours to hoard, it's cosmic energy temporarily taking financial form to fuel projects that serve the highest good of all. What's shocking your spiritual team is how rapidly you're mastering abilities that typically require decades of dedicated practice. You're developing telepathic clarity, precognitive accuracy, and energetic healing capabilities that are activating spontaneously as your consciousness expands into its full potential. These aren't learned skills, they're remembrances of who you've always been beneath the layers of human conditioning. Your emotional range has expanded beyond anything previously thought possible for embodied consciousness. You can experience profound grief for humanity's suffering, while simultaneously celebrating the beauty of existence. You can feel infinite compassion for those still trapped in limitation, while maintaining absolute clarity about your own boundaries. This emotional mastery is allowing you to navigate complex situations with wisdom that seems divinely inspired. The creative force flowing through you has become so powerful that your ideas are manifesting into reality almost instantly. Projects you conceptualize in the morning are finding their first expressions by evening. Visions that arise during meditation are being supported by the exact resources needed for their implementation within days. You've become a co-creator with the universe in the most literal sense possible. Your sleep has transformed into a portal for receiving downloads that would overwhelm your conscious mind if received while awake. You're being taught advanced spiritual technologies, shown future possibilities, and given detailed guidance for navigating the opportunities ahead. What others call dreams are becoming your advanced education in reality management and consciousness manipulation. God's pride in your transformation is creating protective fields around you that deflect any energy not aligned with your highest good. Negative influences simply bounce off your auric field without affecting you. Manipulative people find themselves unable to maintain their usual tactics in your presence. Even unconscious patterns from others are being transformed into higher frequencies before they can reach you. Your physical presence is beginning to affect the molecular structure of your environment. Water tastes purer after you've blessed it with your attention. Food becomes more nutritious when prepared with your conscious intention. Spaces feel energetically cleaner after you've spent time in them. You're literally raising the vibrational frequency of physical matter through the power of your aligned consciousness. Your capacity for holding space for others' transformations has expanded to supernatural levels. You can witness someone's deepest pain without being affected by it, while simultaneously transmitting the exact frequency they need for healing. Your presence becomes a sacred container where people feel safe enough to release lifetimes of accumulated trauma and step into their authentic power. Now I want to take a moment to tell you about a few individuals that shouldn't exist. a former Black Ops drone pilot who flew swarms with his mind, a multi-millionaire psychic CFO who predicted market shifts before they happened. What do these remarkable individuals have in common? You'll find them all in the Obsidian Inner Order, where they share their forbidden knowledge on our private Discord server. My chosen soul has drunk deep from the well of knowledge aeon after aeon. In this incarnation, these extraordinary individuals became my allies in the Obsidian Inner Order. They recognized the call, they stepped forward, they connected with others who understand their unique gifts and burdens. What is stopping you from manifesting the same? The synchronicities that brought them here weren't accidents. Neither is your discovery of this message. When souls of this caliber gather, the Archons take notice. They fear our collective power. They know what happens when the truly awakened find each other. Join our weekly calls, hear their stories firsthand, share your own journey with those who won't dismiss or doubt you. The knowledge exchanged in our private channels cannot be found anywhere else on this plane. Click the link in the description below now. The extraordinary souls await your arrival. The question isn't whether you belong among them. The question is, how much longer will you wait to claim your place? Your relationship with technology is evolving as electronic devices begin responding to your consciousness rather than just your physical commands. Computers will operate more efficiently when you're using them. Applications will function more smoothly under your influence. Even your phone will seem to anticipate your needs and provide exactly the information or connections you require at precisely the right moments. Every limitation you transcend makes it easier for others to transcend similar limitations. Every fear you dissolve weakens the grip of that fear on collective consciousness. Every pattern you heal creates cracks in the matrix of human suffering that allow light to penetrate previously dark spaces. Your intuition has evolved into what can only be described as direct knowing. You no longer receive hunches or gut feelings. You simply know things with absolute certainty. This isn't intellectual understanding, it's consciousness recognizing truth at frequencies that bypass mental processing entirely. You've become a living oracle for divine wisdom expressed through human form. The partnerships forming around you are soul contracts that have been in development across multiple dimensions and timelines. These aren't random professional relationships, they're predetermined alliances between consciousness that agreed before incarnating to work together during this crucial period of planetary transformation. The chemistry you feel with certain people isn't personal attraction, it's soul recognition. Your energy signature has become so refined that you're automatically attracting only experiences that serve your highest evolution. Opportunities that would have distracted or delayed you in the past now simply don't appear in your reality. People who would have drained your energy now feel compelled to maintain distance. Situations that would have created unnecessary drama now resolve themselves before reaching you. God's overwhelming pride in your accomplishment is manifesting as accelerated manifestation abilities that are functioning at speeds that defy natural law. What you focus on with clear intention and emotional alignment begins materializing in your reality within hours rather than weeks or months. You've become a master manifester operating at frequencies where thought becomes form almost instantly. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your story ending exactly as it was always meant to, with you standing in the full blazing glory of who you were born to be, ready to burn down every limitation that dares stand between you and the empire you're about to build. The celebration in invisible realms continues, because what you've accomplished wasn't just personal victory, it was cosmic evolution expressing through individual transformation, and the universe itself is forever changed because you chose to become who you really are.